When was the last time you did something for the first time? You remember that feeling of hesitation. Maybe you're not ready. Perhaps you're not good enough. You doubt yourself. It's a long road ahead. And right now you think, safe is a good place to be. You take a step back, but in doing so, you see the whole picture. You remember the stakes you were brave enough to take. So you shout at the unknown no longer, because you are your own master. You rise up, because you know you're not alone. Because you stand on the shoulders of the ones before you. And through them you realize you are more afraid of not trying than failing. They hold your hand, lead you to the peak of your potential. And once on top, you take the leap and do it. The first time you flew and tasted freedom. The first time you went the extra mile and never looked back. The first time you understood that something so small could change the course of your future. The first time you put yourself first. At FirstMetroAsset, we value you and your achievements. As we navigate through this better normal together, we are here to help you cherish your firsts and make those moments last.
Happy Friday and payday to our viewers. Ayan, we're live again this Friday afternoon. And welcome to FAMi Live, your go-to guide to mutual fund investing. My name is Ingrid Cruz. I am a training associate at FAMi and your host this afternoon. So thank you to our new and previous viewers. Thank you for joining us and allowing us to help you in your financial journey. So please comment down below kung saan kayo nag-watch this Friday afternoon and feel free to ask any questions because one lucky viewer will win a prize from us. Just ask a question with the hashtag FamiLive. Ayan. So every Fami FB Live, we want to make it more exciting. Kaya stay tuned. Baka ikaw na ang lucky winner this afternoon. So good afternoon po. Ayan, meron na nag-comment from Abu Dhabi. Ayan, good afternoon, Escalda. Sabi niya, good evening, Philippines. Siguro gabi na sa kanila. And to Sir Joko Studio, ayan, good day to all. Ayan. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. So, before we head on sa usapan natin today, let's have a review on what we discussed on our last Family Live. That is your different financial goals. Ayan, from saving up your travel expenses, buying a car or a house and lot, education plan for your children or your dream business, also your retirement, and of course, your legacy. Pero hindi lang doon natapos ang usapan natin on our last FB Live. Because our goal at that time was to align or to fit these financial goals to different investment vehicles like investing in stocks, bonds, and also money market instruments, and a lot more. So if na-miss out nyo yung last session natin, it is still available in our Family FB page as well as our YouTube account. Just search First Metro Asset. Okay, so let me call on again on my partner this afternoon, that is Ray Alba, a senior relationship manager in FAMI based in Davao, and he has more than 15 years of experience in the mutual fund industry, and he is a certified investment solicitor, a chartered wealth manager, a registered financial planner. And today, let's all relax, learn, and enjoy with us as we discuss the classifications of mutual funds based on your risk profile as well as your financial goals. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Alba. Good afternoon, Ray.
Well, good afternoon, Ingrid, no, and thank you, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our part two of our FB Live entitled "Matching Your Financial Goals with the Right Mutual Funds or Right Investments." No, so just like the last episode, no, we have actually discussed why we need to invest, no, bakit kailangan natin mag-invest, and we differentiated, no, the different types of financial goals, no, and we also categorized them either into short-term, medium term, or even long term financial goals. So we also discussed the different types of investment instruments available out there in the market, no, that can actually help you achieve those financial goals, diba? So today, no, we will actually focus on what we call mutual funds. No, this is another investment vehicle out there in the market, no, that can actually help you maximize your earnings potential ng pera natin. And mutual funds are actually good, no, for investors who are just starting up, or even those investors na wala pa masyadong experience or doesn't have the time, no, or those investors who just wants to rely on the experts to make their money grow over time. So we at First Metro Asset Management, no, we are actually in the business of what we call mutual funds. No? So yung expertise po natin is to manage funds, no, of the different investors, either individual or corporate. So, and making these funds grow over time. So, but before I'm going to introduce, no, the different funds that we have, let's just have a little bit of a recap, no, on what mutual fund is, just like what our previous episodes, no, na discussed between yung aking colleague, no, si Mau, discussed what mutual fund is and the advantages. So we're going to have just a little bit a recap about it, no, what mutual fund. So when we say mutual fund, basically this is what we call pooled funds, no, of different investors, either individual or corporate. So these pooled funds are actually being managed by professional fund managers, and it is also being invested to different types of stocks, or different types of bonds, and different types of money market instruments. So these are what we call marketable instruments because these are liquid assets. So yun na-discuss natin yun sa last episode. So itong mga funds na to, no, once you invest in a mutual fund, you become shareholders of the fund because here, yung pera natin will be converted into shares. So as shareholders, no, you actually have the rights. No, you have the rights to vote, you have the rights to review the books, or even you have the rights to know where the investments are. Because again, it's very important for the investor to know saan napupunta yung pera nila. Okay? So, there are actually different types of advantages once you invest in the mutual fund. No? First, professional management isa yun sa advantages because no, there are professional fund managers who will manage your fund. So you get to take advantage and take right of the expertise of our fund managers who are actually working on a full-time basis. No, they're taking advantages of opportunities in the market or whatever. Let's say if there's risk as well, they minimize the risk. So dito, it takes the headache away from the investors. No? So parang tayo dito sa, if you invest in a mutual fund, basically, you're taking advantage of professional fund managers. And it's very, another advantage is also diversification. So in just one fund alone, if you invest in a mutual fund, ang dami nang napupuntahan yung pera ninyo. No? So just like nung na-mention natin, yung mga marketable securities, yung pera mo it will be invested into different types of stocks, bonds, at the same time money market instruments. Another advantage is also liquidity, you know. So if anytime should you want to take out your fund or you withdraw your fund, it can also be liquidated into cash again because these are invested in liquid assets. No? So you just have to sell back your shares and the mutual fund company is going to buy back your shares. And it's very safe, no, because mutual funds are highly regulated by SEC. And another advantage is has potential high returns, no? Because again, aside from the savings na kinikita nyo sa time deposits, medyo maliit, no? Dito, although we don't guarantee rate of return sa mutual fund, but in the long run, no, better performance are there, no? So you can have a potential higher return through mutual fund. And also, one best advantage of a mutual fund is it's tax free. So under the comprehensive tax reform package, all capital gains, no, that you will be getting from a mutual fund is exempted from tax. So unlike sa bank, no, if you're going to invest or put your money in time deposit, which is earning around, let's say, less than 1%. So, babawasan pa ng, let's say, 20% withholding tax. So kumbaga parang liit-liit na talaga ng kinikita natin. So, sa mutual fund, it's tax-free. So, again, those are, yun yung definition of what mutual fund is. And at the same time, the benefits that you're going to get if you're going to invest in a mutual fund. No? So, now that we have recapped what mutual fund is and the advantages, I'm now going to introduce to you the different types of family funds that family has to offer. Okay, so here you can see, no, on the slide, no, the risk reward spectrum natin or risk return trade off. So here, no, so rule of thumb lang, no. So when you say the risk reward spectrum, ito ibig sabihin lang yan, lower risk, lower reward, no, higher risk, higher reward. Alam natin 'yon, no. So if you're going to invest into something with lower risk, don't expect much higher returns. So it's much lower yung reward on that type of investment. But if you go invest in something aggressive or higher risk type of investment, expect a higher return as well, no, because you're taking higher risk on that type of investment. So here, sa film as First Metro Asset Management, no, um, again we are what we call family of funds because we have different funds that could cater to your different investment objectives, and we have funds that are designed for those financial goals that we have. Okay, so we have what we call bond funds. No, so this falls under the lower risk type of the spectrum. No, so these are actually designed for your short term or even to medium term goals. No? So this one, in terms of risk, is very low. Okay, and we also have a what we call a balance fund. No? In terms of risk, it's very moderate. So it's actually in between aggressive and conservative. No? So and on the aggressive side of the spectrum, we have the what we call equity funds naman. So these are actually aggressive funds. No, these are designed for aggressive investors that can actually help those investors achieve their long-term financial goals. So now we are going to discuss the different types of funds according to the category nila that they belong. Okay, so for the bond funds natin, we have the Save and Learn Money Market Fund. We have the Save and Learn Fixed Income Fund and the Save and Learn Dollar Bond Fund. Okay, so here, if you have, let's say, for example, money na you have an excess money that you don't need for now, no, or you're planning to use it either 6 months or beyond, then, or if you're going to, or if you're looking for investment, no, that has a short-term period and with minimal fluctuations, but you don't want to be limited to, let's say, for example, time deposits or treasury bills ba, no? You want to have a higher a higher return compared to time deposits, then actually these bond funds are actually quite good for you, no? So here, sa Save and Learn Money Market Fund natin, so this is what we call a very conservative fund. So kumbaga parang ultra-conservative siya because this fund is designed for investors, let's say, looking for parking facility or they want to need their money on a very short term because this fund is designed in terms of holding period is only 7 days lang siya. And the portfolio of this fund is basically invested in money market instruments or these are investments that has less than 1 year maturity. Okay, so this one is actually quite good for your a parking fund. No? If let's say wala pa tayong naisip kung saan natin i-invest yung pera, either you go to stocks ba, no? So pwede mo natin ipa-park yung pera dito sa money market fund wherein ang performance namin is much higher than much higher than time deposit. We also have another conservative fund under the bond funds, no, which is the Save and Learn Fixed Income Fund. So this fund is also very conservative, no, wherein the investment objective of this fund is more on capital preservation. So it has prudent growth. No, this fund has prudent growth, and in terms of portfolio, it's basically invested in what we call government securities or even corporate bonds, corporate notes. No, so these are fixed income generating instruments. No, so this fund is basically good for your short-term to medium financial goals. So another fund also, no, that belongs to the bond fund is parang opposite to the peso fund or the fixed income fund, which is the dollar bond fund naman natin. No? So this fund is basically a fund no, that aims to generate steady stream of income. No? It's also invested in the diversified portfolio of different fixed income instruments na dollar denominated naman. Okay? So if let's say for example OFW ka no, and then or even if you have dollar deposits no, na nakaset aside lang and you want to be using that dollar in the future and you want to put it in a dollar fund wherein it's quite performing no? So we can recommend the Save and Learn Dollar Fund because in terms of performance of this fund since inception it has already earned around 8.72%. No, so that's the different types of bond funds that we have that falls under the conservative um, category natin. No, so for the aggressive naman, we have different funds as well no that are designed for aggressive investors no? So these funds are actually intended for your long-term financial goals or those investors who are willing to take the risk no or if you are an investor na meron kang pera na you would be needing in the let's say next 10 years and you want to maximize the return of your money no or you believe in what we call the higher risk higher reward concept and at the same time you also believe in the Philippine growth story because again right now no Philippine market is actually quite improving and recovering and you want to take pride of or you want to take advantage of the upward movement of the market then these equity funds are actually good for you and designed for you because this fund is in terms of investment objective of this fund is more of capital growth okay now to discuss the different funds under the equity fund natin, we have the First Metro Save and Learn Equity Fund. This fund is what we call actively managed fund. No? So again, the investment objective of this fund is more on capital growth. You can actually maximize your returns here in the long run. No? So since this is actively managed, meaning fund manager natin here actively manage the funds. No? In terms of portfolio of the fund, it is basically invested to different types of stocks, no? The blue chip stocks or the big corporations natin, no? So these are the likes of Ayala, SM, BDO, ICTSI, JG Summit, no? Those are big corporations, okay? So if you get to invest in our equity fund, you also get to take advantage of those different types of equities or equity stocks, no? So this fund is actually good and designed for long-term investments. So we also have another equity fund that we have, no, which is called the First Metro Save and Learn Philippine Index Fund. Ito naman, the difference between the SALEF natin and at the same time, the difference between this Philippine Index Fund is that this one is passively managed. Meaning, because Philippine Index Fund natin or SALFID mirrors the movement of the PSEI itself or the stock market index itself. So whatever the movement of the stock market, it actually mirrors the movement as well. No? So it's very easy to understand in terms of performance. So madali lang siya i-track, no? And in terms of performance, in terms of portfolio of this fund, it is invested in what we call the top 30 corporations listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange, no? So these are again, no, these are the likes of Ayala, UITS, no, so Bloomberry, DMCI. So if you know all these corporations, doon po naka-invest yung Salfi natin, no? And these are actually good for investors na looking for investment no that wants to invest in the biggest corporations in the Philippines and also those investors who believe in the Philippine growth story or they believe that the Philippine stock market will continue to rise in the next few years. So this is actually a fund that is designed for you, no? Another fund that we have under the equity funds natin, no, we have the First Metro Consumer Fund. This fund is actually a unique fund though because again it also mirrors the performance of the Philippine companies, the listed Philippine companies. But this is also dependent on those stocks that are in terms of behavior, it's more of consumer spending. Okay, so in terms of kanyang portfolio, since ang Philippines, di ba, consumer-driven economy tayo. So this fund can really benefit on that because this fund is basically invested in consumer-related stocks. No? So we have the likes of mga, yan, let's say, RC, no? So those are expectations consumer related. No? So if you are again looking for investment that can have potential higher return, we can actually recommend the itong First Metro Consumer Fund as well. Okay? So those are the equity funds that we have. So pero kung tayo, let's say for example, you are an investor but you're still undecided, no? If you want to invest in equities or if you want to invest in, let's say, bonds, diba? Or you want to invest in both, no? But you don't have the enough funds to do so, then we have what we the balance fund naman, no? So this falls in the middle. So we have the conservative, we have the aggressive. This one naman is a combination of both. Okay, you get to have the best of both worlds in this fund because in terms of portfolio, this is invested. Meron siyang investment a portion of conservative, no, where it is invested in bonds or government securities or corporate notes. It is also a portion of it is also invested in stocks or equities, no. So here, this can be a starter fund, no, for investors who are actually looking for stock market or even fixed income investment, no. So if you are an investor who have a medium term financial goal, this fund is actually designed for you as well because in terms of risk, it's very moderate, and you can also take ride, no, of the performance of the stock market while it is also being cushioned by the bond holdings that we have inside the portfolio of this fund. So, in terms of performance of this fund, let's say if you invested since inception, no, which this fund started way back 2007, the performance is already at around 152%, which is not bad at all. Ang laki nun, right? So if you have a financial goal, no, that you want to achieve, then this fund can actually help you achieve those financial goals. So those are the funds that we have under the risk reward spectrum, no, that FAMi has to offer. We have different funds, no, that has different investment objectives. It can either be for your short term, it can either be for your medium term financial goal, or even for your long term financial goals. So we at First Metro Asset Management, we have funds for that, and we can help you achieve and manage your funds and help you grow your funds over time. So again, those are the funds that we have. And if you want to know more about the funds, you can actually visit our website at www.fami.com.ph, and we have all the funds there for you. Again, that ends my presentation, and we are open for question and answer. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Ray, and for allowing us to understand the different family funds and also kung ano ba yung objective nila kada fund. And I hope it was helpful to you viewers as we hope. And now, again, ayan, kakasabi lang ni Ray, we will move on to the Q&A. There's a question here, Ray. Ayan, the first question is how to open a family account.
Okay, that's a good question, no? Kasi it means you are already interested to open a mutual fund. You want to start your investment journey already. No? So again, no, how to open a mutual fund? No, first, there are actually two ways. No, you can either do it online or you can do it manually. No? So since on First Metro Asset Management, we have improve our digital platform. No? So through our website, there's an online application there. You can actually do your applications through online. And if you want to know more about the funds, you can actually study the funds in our website as well. And you can also do it manually. No, you can visit any of our offices, no, any First Metro Asset Management offices near you, and then you can talk to any of our relationship managers in the area, and they can actually help you decide. No, they can actually help you in terms of account opening, or you can also go to any Metrobank branches, and any of the branch officers can actually help you as well in terms of opening an investment with First Metro Asset Management.
Thank you, Ray, for answering that question. And the next question is, what affects the performance of a mutual fund?
What affects the performance? Okay, thank you for that question, Ingrid. Okay, that's a good question. No? What affects? No, as an investor, it's very important to know what factors that affects your investment or the movement of your investment. There are actually different factors. No, so let's say, for example, there are market conditions. No, so market conditions can actually affect the performance of the fund. no? So even political, no, even the inflation, no? So those are news, no, that can really affect performance of a fund. That's why it's very important as an investor to know as well, no, what's going on. So sa mga hindi mahilig magbasa ng news dyan, no, instead of magbasa ng newspaper pero nagbabasa nga, pero doon tayo nagbabasa sa sports section or sa showbiz section. But right now, if you're an investor, it's important as well to read the business section, because doon mo malalaman what are the news that affects the performance of every investment. And in mutual fund din naman kasi, no, which is what's good about mutual fund is that we have professional fund managers here. No, we have research teams, no, who studies the market for you. So instead of you researching as well, no, so yung fund managers naman natin are taking advantage of if there are opportunities right now in the market, if there are risks, they minimize it, no. So there are actually research teams who studies the market from top to bottom. So again, no, those are the factors that can really affect performance of the fund. And at the same time, it's really important to know as well, no, to know and to be vigilant on what's going on as well, because any factors can really affect performance of your funds.
Yeah, and yes, Ray, thank you so much for answering that question. Since you mentioned that one of the factors is politics, ayan, meron question dito from Sir Jacob Magtira. He asked, may epekto ba ang 2022 election at potential new COVID variant sa pagpili ng funds? Ayan, hashtag family.
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, again, no, historically, every election normally, no, umaakyat yung merkado niyan, no, umaakyat. It's because why siya umaakyat? Because there's electoral spending, no. So meaning, syempre, as the election progress, no, so syempre there's a, what we call electoral spending, no. So normally there are corporations who are going to benefit from that, and it also adds value to the investments as well. So meron din siyang effect, umaakyat din yan. And historically naman, whoever sits in, no, kung sino yung papalit na presidente, normally, whatever projects that were left behind, papatuloy pa rin naman yan, right? No, so, in terms of his historical performance, normally, every after election, umaakyat talaga yung market. And again, no, that's a good time for you to invest as well. No, kasi if you want to take right of that upward movement. And with regards to the other questions, new COVID variant, yeah, I've heard that. I've actually read that one of the news that there's an outbreak again there I think it's in Africa or somewhere, you know. We don't know yet, no. But what's the good thing about here right now in the sa atin, no, sa economy natin is that, as you can see in the news, COVID cases are actually dropping, no, medyo, which is actually quite good because the vaccination has, meaning, ang daming vaccinated na, and hopefully, no, by next year, we're going to achieve a herd immunity. And this actually is a good a factor, no, in terms of investor sentiment, because this is going to be a positive catalyst as well, no, na that the economy is going to reopen, that at the same time more the economic cycle is going to progress. So again, those in terms of 2022 election, ano naman, no, it's still, no, there are risks pa rin naman in terms of investing, but the outlook is still bullish.
Okay. Thank you for answering that, Ray. Ayan, my next question from Mr. Danilo Kaluwag. What is the difference between mutual funds and unit investment trust funds offered by banks?
Okay, so the difference between the two, no, mutual funds and UITS, actually, basically, it works the same, no. They invest in both investment universe, no. So they're actually pooled funds. They're saying pooled funds, but the difference lang is that in mutual funds you're actually buying shares here. So you actually become shareholders, and as shareholders you have rights. Okay, so in UITF naman, these are also pooled funds and also being invested into different types of investment instruments, no, and being managed by banks, no. here you're actually buying units or participation. So here you're just participating. So in terms, wala kang rights, no, in terms, wala kang rights to vote, no. But in terms of performance naman, basically it works the same, no. It depends on the portfolio or how they manage the funds. But again, no, in terms of historical track record, mutual fund has been existing for quite some time now compared to mutual funds. So kung gusto mo makita yung historical track record, mutual fund has gone through different ups and downs in the market compared to UITS. So yun lang naman yung both difference. But those are those are naman good investment instruments. So you can also diversify. You can actually choose either mutual fund or UITS.
Alright, thank you, Ray. Ayan, so I think malapit naman tapos yung time natin. But just last question from Glenn Jimena. The question is, monthly ba magbabayad sa mutual funds? Ayan.
Monthly ba? Pwede ngang monthly, pwede ngang araw-araw. Actually, yes. No, that's a good thing. No, na if you're thinking of you're going to build your money on a monthly, you're going to build your wealth on a monthly basis. It's up to you. No, it's if you have excess funds, why not? No, you can actually do cost averaging, which is actually a good strategy in order for you to build your wealth, no? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng na pag once you have an investment, you just have to put it one time and that's it. Wala na, iwan mo lang, no? If you really want to grow your wealth, syempre gusto mo naman yung para kang nagtanim, gusto mong diligan ng diligan at tutubo ng tutubo yun, right? Di ba? So, ganun lang naman yun. So, if you are asking me na is it good to put in monthly, then yes. If you have excess funds on a monthly basis, then why not? No, the important thing there is you are investing and you are doing it regularly because in the long run you will benefit from it. So again, no, Miss Ingrid, di ba? Ngayon, bonus season. So mga lahat ng mga nanonood right now, no, I guess everybody received their bonuses. No, so this is a good time for you to start your investment. So you choose whatever funds that you have that's suitable to your investment objective or even your risk profile. Then again, no, you have to start your investment. Hindi naman siya kailangan na parang there's walang what you call this walang right time, no, of about investing, no. So it's a matter of how you're going to act on it and how you're going to start it, diba? So recommendation ko, you better start now.
Yeah, and it's only for 5,000 pesos. Ayan.
Exactly, no? So, I haven't mentioned that nga pala, no? So, all of the funds natin are actually very affordable, no? So, you can actually invest for as low as 5,000 pesos. So, gone are the days na when you say investment or even mutual funds na, baka pang Henry C. lang yan or pang Ayala lang yan or pang Ingrid Cruz lang yan, no? Hindi, no? But, right now, everybody can actually take advantage. Everybody can invest in a mutual fund. No? Every regular Joe's out there, for as low as 5,000 pesos, you can already take advantage of different investments, the different diversified investment of a mutual fund. You can have investments, access to stocks, bonds, or even money market instruments through mutual funds for as low as 5,000 pesos.
All right. Thank you so much, Ray, for answering all of the questions. And that's it for our Q&A. So don't worry sa mga hindi natin nasagot na questions this afternoon because we will surely send and answer all of these questions straight to your FB chat. Ayan. So make sure you follow us on our social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at FirstMetroAsset. And you may also want to join our exclusive FAMi email list to receive practical tips straight to your inbox. Just scan the QR code found on the screen. And to get to know more about us, yan, kaya nasabi ni Sir Ray kanina, if you want to learn more about our funds and also about FAMi, just visit our website, www.fami.com.ph. And ayan, before we end this FB Live, Ray, is there anything else na gusto mong i-impart sa ating mga viewers this afternoon?
Okay. Before we end this episode, no, so I would just like to leave you with this quote or saying, or with a question. No? There are actually three types of people in the world. Ika nga, sabi nila. No? So those first is those people who watch things happen. No? Yung mga tinatawag na marites. kilala naman natin kung sino si Marites, di ba? Uso yun sa Facebook right now. No, yun yung mga taong mahilig lang manood, doon sa tabi lang, habang umaakyat yung merkado at walang ginagawa. Or those people who wonder what happened, no? Yun yung mga taong walang kamalay-malay, no? Or napag-iwanan na tuloy ng panahon. Or the people who make things happen. O yun yung mga taong umaaksyon sa oportunidad or taking advantage of opportunities. So the question here is, which type of people are you? Are you the one who's going to watch things happen? Are you the ones who's going to wonder what happened? Or are you the people who wants to make things happen? Again, no, we at First Metro Asset Management, we want you to become the people who make things happen and take advantage of these opportunities. Always remember, no, it is not the lack of opportunity, okay? Opportunity is everywhere. It's a matter of how you're going to take advantage of it and how are you going to act on it. Again, this is Ray Alba. Thank you very much.